134 and 116. It wasn't close. Like I swear to God, Julian Strawther and the bench got so many minutes. Colin Gillespie 17. Who like Collins actually seems to be like a part of the rotation, which kudos to him. But Zeke Nanji, Braxton Key, Jamarco Pickett, Hunter Tyson, and Julian Strawther, Payne Watson, Christian Brown, all those guys off the bench. Dude, it felt like I was watching them. Julian Strawther at 21. Okay, Julian Strawther could not miss. Reggie Jackson started tonight, had 7 points, and it was interesting because the bench really picked up the piece. I mean, the starting lineup still, everyone has scored in double digits, but the bench, I swear to God, I was watching this Nuggets games and it felt like there was a minute I was watching. That Zeke Naji, Julian Strawther, like Christian Brown. I think it was like Payne Watson and Colin Gillespie on the floor to close the game, and I was like, or at least at one point in the fourth, I was like, oh wow, they're really like beating the Pelicans with this lineup. And I know the Pelicans were without like still no like literally listen to this bench. You're playing Matt Ryan, Kira Lewis Jr. in your bench as part of like your main bench rotation. So
yeah, but that should be better or at least comparable to these dudes the Nuggets are trotting out as well.
Dude, Matt Ryan at 17. Shout out to him. I know they don't even have a point guard, dude. Jordan Hawkins has been a point guard right now. They've been playing Jordan Hawkins half the season as a point guard instead of a shooting guard.
Yeah, it's point Ingram, which for better or worse.
Yeah. I think the Denver Nuggets just top to bottom are really good, and they rebuilt their bench. It's just they have so many options off their bench. They got two backup point guards in Reggie Jackson and Gillespie. They got wings and Strawther, Watson, and Brown, and I guess you could throw Tyson and Key in there, and then also Pickett's another guard. And then they have Zeke Naji is finally as a backup big. It's just really. It's nice to see that they've been able to evaluate talent that was like, you know what I mean? That can perform early in their careers and not have to be waited on.
Seeing Julian Strawther like have sets designed for him where he was coming off screens and like hitting pin down threes was pretty impressive to see. This was a breakout game for him. I thought that Colin Gillespie played kind of poorly. Some of these guys were really just garbage time minutes, but I mean, Strawther emerging as a wing off the bat, like, would be a coup in and of itself. Like, even if the rest of these young rookies don't make much of an impact, like to add another guy who can step in and get you 20 on a night is huge for Denver. And a testament to Jokic, obviously, he makes it all possible.
No, I agree. Definitely nice to see Jokic being the connector for all this, but also it's nice to see Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. Really, I mean, first off, Michael Porter Jr. so far this season is averaging 16 points and 8 rebounds, and which is like he'll average 17 last year, but it's the rebounding which we saw 2 years ago before the back injury. Last year he wasn't rebounding as well as he did before, but like this year he's really going out there. He's had multiple games with double-digit rebounds, and I think Michael Porter. I'm not gonna say you're be like, oh, he's evolved as a player, because that's not true. But I think he looks like he's moving a bit better. He's a bit more springier. I think the more seasons we get away from the back injury, or what was back injury in 20.
Well, he's had 3 back surgeries.
No, the most recent one when he played 9 games, 21 to 22. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
That year, I think he had the back flared up. Because he's had back and ACL problems. So I think it's good to see him looking more and more like the Michael Porter Jr. who got paid for averaging 19 and 8 or 19 and 7, whatever it was. And then Aaron Gordon out here, who people always thought he was the example of good player putting up in good stats on a bad team. As he was like almost, like he was a high teen scorer for the Orlando Magic. And last year he averaged 16 for the Nuggets. And it's crazy to think about. This is technically year 3.5 for him. But he's coming out of here shooting 58% from the field. And it's crazy to see that like this year, even though he's not scoring as much, he's like their Swiss Army knife, and Aaron Gordon's just being, I feel like, utilized to the best of his ability like I've ever seen in his career, especially being an Orlando Magic fan. You know?
And he is somebody who I would say his game has evolved and is evolving.
I think it's always been there. It's just being taken advantage of. Like I think it's evolving in the sense that he's taking more. He's not taking as much bad mid ranges, and he's not trying to ISO anymore. But that's because of the circumstances he's in. But I feel like all the things there have always been there. Because when he played with like Vooch and Fournier, and like when we were actually a playoff squad, he would delegate. But like now, like he actually got someone creating for him and like taking away pressure. So I think it's. Like, has it evolved? Yes, but I feel like it was always there, and it's just more he's honed it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
His craft, and he knows what to do, what Jokic likes, and how to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And they all do. That's what makes this Denver team so dangerous. Is everybody like has synergy with him.
Yeah. No. Completely.